5 to 10 years, we're gonna have, and especially now the market is, as we know, market is down, and people think, I would be highly recommending everybody to invest as much as they can, whatever they can afford, into the crypto and NFT market with the utility. The reason is, every 3-year turnaround, it's 10x to 30x return.
A lot of the reason why people get into business is to make money, right? It's not always a passion. So it's not always a passion up there. They just want to make money. So they're getting into something that they're not so passionate about. So if they're not so passionate about it, they're maybe not making the best decisions, the best choices, right? Can you touch on that by any chance?
Sure. So a lot of businesses, companies, everybody is there to make money, right? That's why people open business. But if you want to make some good money and you want to serve, you should be passionate about.
You want to serve, you said.
Yeah. So
what does that mean?
So if everybody has their goals, right? But if you find a problem that you want to provide service to, that's what I meant by serving, right? And if you are passionate about that, instead of you making probably $1 million, 10 million, you could be making probably 100 million, because you are doing two things. You are pursuing your passion. At the same time, you have identified a problem in the world. It could be any minor problem. And you're providing a service. You're serving that problem.
That's how you create true value.
Correct.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So what are you doing right now as far as business? Tell me that. Run us through the gauntlet. I know my man Mo says you're doing like 100 things, man.
Like, he has a Rolodex of businesses, but he'll tell you the top one.
Give our audience something that they can grab on.
Yes, of course. I think everyone in today's world know that the world is heading towards the digital aspect of it, right?
100%.
Before, in 90s, it was internet that newly came out, right? And people were, okay, wow, it's internet. I don't think it's a scam. It's this. People were skeptical about things. But now we see, after 2-3 decades, internet is what we all are on today. This is, you guys gonna see this live
on YouTube
or on the internet, right? So same thing is happening in the digital world. The world is moving from Web 2. Web 2 is what the internet used to be, right? That's Web 2. Yeah. Now the world is moving towards Web 3 environment. The Web 3 is where people will own their own data. It's going to be more decentralized economy-wise, right? Financial sectors, banks are moving towards the crypto payments, right? Metaverse, virtual reality, augmented reality, right? Now you and I can be sitting here. People will be sitting in any part of the world, online internet, they can do it. In future, which is already now, it is part, but it's going to get more public and mainstream, that we all would be doing this in the Metaverse.
All having discussions, kind of sit.
Correct.
So you can be in China.
You can be in any part of the world. We would be in the same one room of a Metaverse or an office. We create a virtual office.
And we can be sitting right next to each other.
Exactly, but in the Metaverse.
Okay, and how are you in that as a business? How is that?
So what I am doing now is, I recently started, because I always had my tech consulting company.
Tech consulting.
Yes, I started being in tech since 2012. And in 2017, I used to do consulting for different people, big companies, big corporations, HSBC, Citibank, Bank of America. I served most of them I helped them create their products and serve in that space.
That's
as
huge.
well. Ran
That's
the
huge.
program project management aspect for them. Did some very impressive projects that I'm very happy and proud of, to be serving that and changing the world in that space.
Wow.
So now I started my own consulting in 2017. But that was, of course, Web 2 based, right? Internet based on technology and Fintech. Now we are taking that and moving more into the Web 3 space of the environment with cryptos, with NFTs. We helped launch over 42 NFT projects so far.
Holy shit.
By end of the quarter, we'll be at 73.
For people that don't understand NFTs, how can we make this as simple as possible for them to understand?
Correct. So that's a very, very good question. People just think NFTs as a JPEG or a picture. Right? Hey,
right.
There's just this picture.
Right.
I'm buying this picture for thousands of
Bored
dollars.
Ape, right?
Correct.
Bored Ape.
Like a monkey. But so NFT, of course, stands for Non-Fungible Token, as people know that. The NFTs are going forward. It's going to be the utilities that comes with the NFTs, right? It is on a smart contract. It's the contract that you are approving. So I can take a picture of your house or your yacht.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that I own that.
Mm-hmm.
I can take a picture of anything in JPEG and save it, but that doesn't mean it's not going to say on the blockchain on a smart contract that this person is the one that owns that has the authority to buy and sell this.
So where does the value come from in an NFT?
So value, that's again very good question. So value is always behind the utility, what it's serving, right? There are, of course, there are going to be 90% of the NFT project that's going to sink and fail.
Mm.
Like same thing that happened in the 90s in the companies, right? Internet companies they started, they fail. Same thing's going to happen in the crypto world. Same thing's going to happen in the NFT world. I would suggest people need to look the community. So NFTs also, the NFT projects and companies are also very community based, right? So if we build something like this, is we building our community, right?
Yeah.
Now in months, 2 months, 5 months down the road, let's say you drop your NFT project, but that has a utility, and we'll get to the utility side of it. But just let's talk about the community first, and then we'll get to how to judge and how to identify NFT projects. You are building this to your community and audience. This community would be loyal to you if you drop a merchandise, if you drop your NFT project. Let's say you have a 10,000 user, a million users. This million users would be coming to you to support you for any of your other ventures, if they believe in you, if they have got value so far, right? So that's one thing. Community is very important for the NFT projects. Now, what the NFT, how you identify that what NFT I want to buy or invest in.
Yeah.
So you can use NFT in different market sectors, right? Different domains. You can use NFT into real estate. You can use NFT in the music industry. You can use NFT in an artistic world. So the people don't know about those things yet. That how can I use this in my business? I'll give you an example. Pick any industry. Pick restaurants, business. Pick any, and I'll try to explain that in terms of the utility, how you can use the utilities.
Let's do for easy example for people out there. Or let's do what's called the clothing business.
Let's do a clothing business. All right. So clothing business. Let's say ABC company, or I'll give you an example: Nike or Adidas. Right. Let's use one of their examples. Existing company. Let's say tomorrow Nike goes and say we are launching our first 1,000 NFTs. All right. Now people are okay. Wow, Nike is launching their NFTs and they're building a store in the Metaverse, and you can go shop online. But people are like, okay, why should I buy Nike's NFT instead of buying some other company's NFT or something like that when they launch? Nike goes, when you have this NFT, you're going to have a lifetime membership in Nike Club, right? It's only 1,000 in the world, whole world, right? Now, let's say each NFT costs $1,000 for an easy math. So that roughly comes when Nike drops it, 1,000 times 1,000 is $1 million. Nike right away makes $1 million, correct?
Did they sell it?
Yeah, it got sold out. And now whoever owns this NFT, they have a lifetime membership to the Nike Club. So and then in the utilities, Nike also said that any of our new products comes in, these 1,000 people would get it for 50% off throughout their life, 50% off throughout their life.
And that's
right. So now that's a utility that only this 1,000 people, first of all, get first dip to buy any of the Nike products. On the top of it, they get 50% off, or whatever number they want to put out, right? So now it's a utility. Now, let's say if I'm 1,001 person and I want to buy this, I have to buy from either of one of you thousand people. You bought it for 1,000. You'll be like, you want to buy it? Yeah, I'm selling it for 10,000. I'm giving my rights to you to be an owner of this NFT, so you can use your utilities.
That's a great way of explaining it. That's a great way to show the value of an NFT.
Correct.
Now tell me then, people see it as like digital art though, right?
It is.
And it's held on the blockchain.
Yeah, it is.
So how do you when you buy silver and gold, you can actually
correct.
heal it.
But here you can connect any of your digital assets with the real life physical utilities. Right? So as we give an example of Nike, right? They have a digital picture.
Yeah.
They came out with 1,000 unique digital art that you can hold. Each of your pick would be your ticket or your utility.
Where do you hold that digital art? Where does that stay?
So there are applications.
Right.
Like for example, OpenSea is a platform where you do trading of NFT art. MetaMask is a wallet where you hold your wallet.
MetaMask.
Yes. So which is these two are the highly used majority market segment.
We're into some good stuff here. Yeah.
Right, and we can certainly in future, if someone wants, we can get into that details as well. But
So
yeah, so that, to have that answer example of Nike. So now, if someone, as I said, you said, okay, I want to sell it for 10,000. If I want all those rights, I'll buy it from you for 10,000.
Yeah, right.
So now the value of your NFT went up, right? So you invested $1,000. You had the right. You certainly utilized some of your utilities, and some of you bought some of the stuff for the March and whatnot. And at the same time, you resold it at a price of. So it's always about, it's same thing like looking into a stock or a company, right?
It's great.
Which company is doing what company is doing. It's the same thing. You convert this, now the stocks would be an NFT worth.
I love that. I love that. And that dude, I'm gonna be honest, because like coming in, I'm like, yeah, NFTs. Like I think people buy it because like they're cool.
No. those cool ones, 90% is gonna stink.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's very important. So we're gonna, in next 5 to 10 years, we're gonna have, and especially now the market is, as we know, market is down, and people think no. I would be highly recommending everybody to invest as much as they can and whatever they can afford into the crypto and NFT market with the utility. The reason is every 3-year turnaround, it's a 10x to 30x return.
Last research has shown this?
Last year, last year the market was at 2.2 trillion for cryptos and NFTs, including. Right now, today we are at 960 billion as of today. So we went down by 50-60%. Every year is quadruples. In next 3 to 5 years, this industry of crypto and NFTs would be at $4 to $5 trillion. So so you imagine the return, right? From 960 billion, the industry is going to jump to around $4 to $5 trillion. This is the time when we will be seeing new Facebooks, new Amazon, new Instagram, new tech companies emerging.
What do you tell people out there? The market is going to shit. A lot of people would say right now, right?
Correct. So it is the correction as well, right? So we know the inflation, the money was pumped, right? Government gave out a lot of handouts to everybody, right? There was so much artificial money that was pumped. But where is this all money going to come back to? The inflation is high. Everybody's paying, right? Before the gas prices were low, now we're paying double, triple. So money from us is going to come back to the rich and the corporations and the government back, right?
Always does.
So how do you get into that level? This is the time when you start something. Because first of all, your cost.
This is the time. What do you mean times where we're maybe in a recession or we're going through economic slumps? That's a good time to
so a lot of people will get laid off. Like I think today itself, I believe Coinbase laid off 18% of its workforce, right? We have some other, I think Tesla is laying off certain other people. There's a lot of big companies that are going to lay off, right? So a lot of people are going to get laid off. This is the time for them to realize that if I can utilize my skill and start something of my own, especially if they're in the tech industry, in the Web3 world, just consulting, just learning for 1 month. I got into NFT, I was in crypto for a while, but I got into NFTs like 2 years ago. When people didn't know much about it.
Early.
Yes, correct. But this is still
early.
This is not even a tip of an iceberg. We are not even at 1%. This is not even a tip of an iceberg. So this is what 90s were when the internet started. And now see where we are in 20, 30 years. And people should just start looking into something on that, because this is the future.
What would you recommend people watching right now that want to get into NFTs? Where's the first place to start?
So first thing they should do, understand NFTs, right?
Educate.
Yeah. Watch some videos, learn about this.
Videos like
Don't just go to the influencers and buy their NFTs out, because most of the influencers NFTs gonna, a lot of the influencers NFTs gonna tank, right? Because they did it, unless they come up with the utilities, and of course they have a tech people and valuable people inside it, then of course yes, and they have a positive because they have influencers, right? First thing is to learn. Second thing is to create your wallet. Even if you don't want to be part of the NFTs and the cryptos yet, or you still are skeptical, I tell you, mark the date today, as this video is going to be out whenever, right? Everybody, like we use credit cards, in future it's going to be using cryptos, right? It is It's not going to happen in 2 years or 3 or 5 years, maybe, but when our kids come, or when you all other people get into their 20s and 30s, somewhere or somehow you would be using crypto payments, you would be buying NFTs as a utility. If you want to go to a concert, like we are, one of person I know, he's creating the app called Tin Club, which they have approached us to be part of. To be into this concert or so, the access to those is you have to have an NFT to get into it.
And any NFT?
No, you have to have that particular.
Oh, yes.
And of course with their sponsors. So for example, there's NFT NYC week is coming next week, right? Which I'm flying to tomorrow for that. Most of the events.
What is that?
It's in New York City. It's an NFT week in New York City.
What goes on there?
So for the whole week, there would be companies from around the world and the individuals who are part of the crypto and who are part of the NFT world who are creating things, futuristic things in this domain. So a lot of big companies are there sponsoring a lot of events. A lot of individuals are there. They're sponsoring the events through their own, to push their own projects, right? So it's a very good networking. So whoever can get there, it's from June 20th till June 24th in NYC. It will be all over, everywhere. There are 200 plus events that you can network and learn from. Why do you think all these big companies are coming to be part of or pushing it?
This is fun.
From all around the world.
Yeah, it's gonna be some good shit. Yeah.
So yeah, getting back to that, learn, create the wallet. Make sure you have a wallet, even if you don't want to trade or anything. Make sure you have either MetaMask wallet or Coinbase wallet, right? Because in future, if someone says, "Hey, I want to pay in crypto," I usually try to take my payments in cryptos now. Even if I go with my friends out and stuff, let's say we spread a bill, right? Say it was $1,000 tap, and I picked up a tap. My other friends want to pay me instead of Venmo or Zelle. If we are all into that environment, we all transfer each other Ethereum. In terms of we pay each other in terms of Ethereum. I don't know. People are going to say, "Oh, market is down, this and that." Yeah, but we also have. So I'll give you an example of that itself. That how it can be so powerful. Let's say we went out today, right? And we spent $1,000. I split half, you split half, you owe me $500. You could have went with me, Zelle with me, cash at me. Instead of that, I said, "Hey, no, just give me half." Ethereum worth 500. Today, Ethereum is, let's say, on a ballpark $1,000. It's at 1,100. Let's say $1,000 for an easy math. That means you owe me half an Ethereum. You transfer me half an Ethereum. It's equal to $1. For me, I'm holding Ethereum. Doesn't matter, right? I have a half an Ethereum. 3 months from now, this Ethereum goes to 2,000, or 6 months from now, whatever. My half Ethereum right now is now equivalent to $1,000, which 3 to 6 months ago was $500, right? So it's ROI on that, and at the same time, my dinner has been free. What we spent, and I accumulated more in terms of. It could go in other ways too, but in other way, for me, it's still equal to half an Ethereum. So I could do the trading. I can buy something else of an NFT for that half an Ethereum.
Yeah, 100%. That's amazing. Finding that opportunity. Let me ask this question then. So the people that want to be wealthy out there, right? Want to be rich, want to be successful. You hit on a valid point. It seems like you're parking your money into assets. Correct. So can we touch on that? Like, what separates the rich from the poor? What are the poor investing in if they are at all, and what are the rich investing in if they are at all too? Like,
sure.
How's that work?
Definitely. So I'll tell you, and you fairly said right. I don't have enough cash in my bank account. Most of my money is either invested in cryptos or in NFTs or in any sort of different, like on Forex, or different sort of investments, right? Some into real estate as far as well, but most of it is invested. So sometime if I need a big chunk of cash, I would have to literally see, okay, what am I selling, or what am I having, or what am I transferring from which account, right?
So I love that thing. Yeah.
Right? So that is part of what separates like people from paycheck to paycheck into the different segment. But the way you can switch it, even if you're making $100, try to save $10 out of it. Try to save $20 out of it. You need to make sure you invest into things that can generate that passive income for you. That can replace your either 9 to 5 or 9 to 10, whatever it would be. So, and you cannot do it overnight. It doesn't happen overnight unless you're winning a jackpot or a lottery, right?
Yeah.
If you are making $1,000 or if you're making, let's say, $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month, you want to replace the 10,000. You need to divide. You need to first of all save. And when I say save, as in like not save it and put it in a bank account. Every month, take 30% or 40, whatever you can afford, even $30. So if you're doing have $10,000, you're putting 3,000. Your 3,000 should directly go into your markets. Whether it be, if you're doing stock, and of course different, but of course in cryptos or in forex or into the real estate, there are places where you can buy $50,000 houses, right? Of course, it's you have to fix your upper, but that $50,000, you would only need 10% down payment for that. That's $5,000. So in 2 months, you can have a real estate asset.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Right?
I once heard, I'm not sure if you're familiar, Jim Rohn, maybe you are. He said, it is hard to get rich quick, but it's easy to get rich over long term.
Yes.
Do you kind of mention that there, saying, hey, and Mo, you did too. It's not going to happen quick, but take what you're comfortable with. How important is that to understand?
That is very important, and that's the only way you would be able to switch from your 9 to 5s, right? You have to have a passive income coming in, and the reason also I don't keep money into my accounts and stuff is whatever I get, I invest. Either I invest in businesses or startups. A lot of people say, Maaz, why do you start so many businesses?
Yeah, why?
Right? So the reason is I like to help startups because when I started, nobody was there to help me besides some of my mentors, but from a financial standpoint and stuff. So I like to invest in startups and create some new technologies or products or anything that is already existing and take it to the next level and scaling it.
Why? Why do you have that inside of you? Because again, not everybody has that.
So it's also I would say personality-wise and also the things that I have been through, right? When I say what I've been through, as I said, when I started my consulting, there was nobody besides my mentor who gave me an opportunity to get a bigger spine, HSBC.
Okay. Mentor, tell me why that's important, because that's obviously, people say it's not what you know, but it's who you know. How much of that do you believe? How much of that do you think is important? And how much of that pay off for you?
Oh, 90%. Who I am today is 90% of my success or whatever I want to say blessings comes from that.
Wow.
Not from my education, even though I have 2 degrees.
Oh shit, no way. What do you have?
I have my undergrads in accounting and finance from UP, and then I have 2 masters, 2 MBAs.
Thank you. Okay.
So, and I don't use any of my degrees, to be honest. What I use or have been very helpful to me is what and who I got connected during the time of college or mostly after. So even if people say, oh yeah, you are social. Yes, you have to be social. If you, as you said, your network is your net worth. And it is true. It's not just the wordings or a code. It is, for me, it has been 90% of my thing has come through my networking. Maybe not right away. Don't see it as always having a value coming out right away. If you are providing a value to someone, maybe that person cannot provide you back right now. Maybe 1 or 2 years down the road, he might be able to when he's in a condition to. Or if he's not, it's a circle. Someone else will be there to provide you something else.
Beautiful.